So here's the question you guys keep asking me. Are the Lypertek Soundfree S20 a worthy successor to the highly acclaimed Lypertek Tevi? Okay, only 5 of you actually asked me that, but it was a good question to be fair. Are the S20s better or worse? We'll be finding out shortly. I'll throw affiliate links in the description below so you can check their price in real time. I bought these with my own money, so let's see if they were worth it or not. I'm Mark and I'm here to let you know what's worth buying before you buy it. So let's get into the review. So in terms of build and design, it's hard to say that the S20s have outdone the Tevis because the latter got so much right the first time round. The S20s sport a matte black plastic finish, offering decent grip, which is a great start. You're definitely not going to easily drop these with sweaty hands, but it's hard not to mourn the loss of that fabric finish that the Tevis had, which undoubtedly made them stand out of the crowd in terms of design and build at their price point. And that's something which I now cannot say about the S20. They are incredibly average compared to other budget options out there. Fortunately for us, the case of the S20s is undeniably more compact and pocket friendly, which was one of the only things I could criticize the Tevis for in my review in this round, which now makes the S20s very AirPods Pro-like in shape and size, which is certainly never a bad thing. However, the buds have unfortunately increased in size, adding more bulk to your ears, which hopefully won't be bad news when it comes to fit, as I already struggled to get the Tevis to stay comfortably and securely anchored in my ears as it already was. But wait, there's more bad news. We've got a downgrade in IP rating here. The S20s have an IPX5 sweatproof rating, whereas the Tevis, which are verging on 2 years old now, had an IPX7 waterproof rating, which allowed them to be completely submerged in water no problem. But with that in mind, along with the loss of the fabric finish on the case, this is one of quite a few downgrades from the Tevis that you'll probably notice as this review continues. Overall, it's going to be a 7 out of 10 for build quality. If you don't compare them to the Tevis, which are, you know, $30 more expensive in the S20's defense, what we're getting here for the price is pretty reasonably above average. However, you do have to note that the Tevis offered the best build and design at their price point, and that's sadly not something I can say about the S20s. So, what about battery life? Well, we're promised 8 hours playback in a single listening session here, and 40 hours overall. Yep, you guessed it, falling short of the Tevis' 10 hours playback and a whopping 70 hours playback overall, both of which proved to be accurate to their claims during my testing. But given that the S20s are much more compact and cheaper, I can definitely begin to forgive that reduction in battery life, especially since the S20s also now have wireless charging too. So I'm not going to call that a downgrade per se, because there's some trade-offs there, which hopefully explains my 9 out of 10 rating for battery life. The S20s are still above average in terms of longevity compared to the competition. It is just a bit of a shame that they couldn't have come slightly closer to matching the Tevis' overall battery life. When we're talking fit and comfort, which we are right now, the good news is that they fit far better than the Tevis despite actually being larger, and that's because the drivers on each earbud are angled drastic 45 degrees in a totally different direction than on the Tevis, meaning that the S20 now fit way more ergonomically because, I mean, come on, whose ear canals are at a perfect 90-degree angle, right? There's also a ton of different sized ear tips in the box, which will only further increase your chances of getting a fit that's right for you. So that's going to be an 8 out of 10 for fit and comfort. They're definitely secure enough for moderate workouts, and as they don't extend too far into your ear canal, they're incredibly comfortable for longer listening sessions too. So there's at least one way they convincingly best the Tevis so far, without question. And now it's time to test the Lypertek S20 in terms of microphone quality to let you know how they're going to sound on your average call in a real world environment. And it's pretty windy, there's cars going past. I'm really putting these things to the real test here. Can you still hear my voice over the background noise? There's a pretty big lorry going past right now. That's going to be a good test. So you guys let me know. I won't know how they sound till I get back to the studio and take a listen. But we're not going to end it there. We're going to listen to the Lypertek Tevi next to see if these are better or worse. So you tell me. Okay, I lied. I did listen back to the recording of the S20 just now, and wow, that was pretty bad. It is windy today, but it sounded like I was in the middle of a hurricane. So maybe not much hope here, but I've got the Lypertek Tevis in now. Hopefully they can do better. I don't remember how good they were from before, so surely they can't be worse, right? But anyway, for a last comparison, I'm going to be doing the Earbuds Pro next, which had pretty good mic quality for the price. So let's get those in and hope that they're better. And here's what the microphone quality of a pair of budget earbuds should sound like. They don't always sound like this, but they probably should. At least that is until I listen to this back, because, you know, it's a different day. Could be windier, could be more cars going past than when I last tested. So I don't know till I listen till after this, but I will be giving you my opinion of which I think was better, the S20, the Tevi, or the Earbuds Pro. So I'm going to listen to this back and I'll let you know right in a sec. Okay, so normally I'd wait until I get back to the studio to give you my final take on mic quality, but I'm going to do it right here. It's a nice day, so why not? Pretty safe to say, S20 last place. That was just 80% wind, 20% my voice. One of the worst I've heard, actually, so that's really disappointing. The Tevi's come in next. My voice is pretty clear, but what is clear is the traffic in the background. They made like no effort to reduce any of that background noise, but at least you could hear what I was saying somewhat. But as I expected, which is why I put them in this test, is the Earbuds Pro. Seriously good. Not perfect, of course. When there is background noise, there's some sort of like background noise reduction thing going on, which does distort my voice at times. But overall, you can just hear my voice, and that's it. And yes, it's not perfect, but you can hear my voice. So they still are one of the best budget earbuds for mic quality, and the S20 just need to up their game a lot. I don't know if it needs to be said, but obviously this test was about microphone quality in a real world environment. Needless to say, in a quiet room with no background noise, no one's going to struggle to hear you. Introduce some background noise, however, things change a lot, clearly. But my final score for the microphone quality of the S20, honestly, probably a 4 out of 10. And I don't know if that seems harsh. Just listen to the test again, and I can assure you it's pretty fair, maybe even a little bit generous. So that's microphone quality and call quality done for now. And now we're going to be looking at functionality and usability in round 5. So let's head back and do that right now. Okay, we're back, and it's time to look at functionality and usability. So what do the S20s bring to the table? We've got Bluetooth 5.0 here, which is still more than fit for purpose. It's definitely not going anywhere anytime soon. However, I am starting to see more and more budget buds sporting Bluetooth 5.1 and even 5.2, both of which offer a more stable connection, greater range, and less toll on battery life, all of which would have been amazing future-proofing here. I have seen a few Amazon reviews claiming connection issues in the right earbud, but as of the time of this recording, I haven't had any connection issues so far. I'll keep you updated on that. We've regrettably lost aptX here, leaving us with AAC and SBC, which is a real shame considering that the Tevis had aptX and, as I said, were released in 2019. So that means you are going to get a little bit more audio-visual lag, and that loss also rules out the streaming of higher quality audio files too. Unless, of course, you use an iPhone, which doesn't and probably never will support aptX anyway. But still, it's yet another downgrade from the Tevis to add to the ever-growing list. Now, just like the Tevis, we are getting button controls here, not touch controls. Promise I won't freak out about it today, but they are the good kind of button controls, and they are a vast improvement over the Tevis. As the buds protrude out of your ear a reasonable amount, that's actually a benefit for these button controls, because you can just simply pinch the buds to achieve a button press. You don't need to squeeze them very hard either. They're very responsive. So there's no need to uncomfortably jam the buds deeper into your ear canal just to achieve a successful button press. And before you ask, yes, I can read your mind, I can confirm they do have volume controls via the button controls as well. Just long press the button to raise or lower volume on the left or right earbud. But the S20s are missing something that you can easily find at this price point: active noise cancellation. Now, of course, if you're not looking for ANC, you probably won't care about its absence, but you should still know that you can most definitely find ANC in most budget buds at this price and under, the Earfun 3 Pros for example. But what we do have here is an ambient mode, so you can at least hear your surroundings, I was going to say clearly, but it's actually incredibly weak and not that great. And the beep that confirms it's on or off is actually very unpleasantly high pitched. So ambient mode, I'm going to pretend that doesn't even exist. And the lack of ANC, it's disappointing. So for this round, I'm going to drop a 6 out of 10 for functionality here, as in reality, we're getting the bare minimum at this price with next to zero future-proofing, though I do have to say, these are some of the best button controls on true wireless earbuds I've seen in a very, very long time. But ANC is now easily available at this price and under, if that's what you're looking for. And if you pile on the lack of aptX, nothing better than Bluetooth 5.0, no low latency gaming mode, also starting to pop up a lot in other budget buds, no app support, there's still a ton of room here for improvement. Okay, it's time to talk sound quality, but before we dive in, make sure you're following me on my personal Instagram and Twitter, where I post behind the scenes stuff and snippets of my personal life. If that sounds good, then links are in the description to those. If it sounds bad, then I'm probably inclined to agree with you. And in that case, hit the subscribe button, because at 50k subs, I'll be changing my channel name to Lypertek Pro. Okay, brace yourselves, it's time to talk sound quality. Here is how the S20 sound in one sentence. I'm going to make it simple. A subtle, punchy bass boost with vocals that stay center stage without becoming too pushed forwards, and highs that always endeavor to prioritize detail and fidelity, something which 99% of budget buds can rarely pull off. So, what does that translate to? It basically means that the S20 handle a far greater range of genres than I could ever expect at this price from a pair of budget buds. Nothing I've tested recently can handle everything from rock and metal's abrasive mid-heavy sound without getting any unpleasant distortion or piercing highs or anything like that, whilst then also delivering a solid performance across genres like rap, hip-hop and EDM like the S20s do. And here's the best part: as you're getting superb clarity across bass, mids and highs without any of those elements being too pushed forwards or too recessed in the mix, the S20 actually emulates the sound of a pair of very expensive high-end true wireless earbuds incredibly well. The only difference is that they obviously lack the soundstage of the likes of Sony, Bose and Sennheiser, but at this price that's definitely to be expected. Now, the real comparison, comparing them to the Tevis. There's actually no competition here. The S20s sound better, hands down. Why? Well, firstly, their sound signature now offers really nice, rich, warm bass, something which the Tevis infamously lacked. That subtle bass boost brings the pumping heartbeat of tracks forward slightly and gets your head nodding, yet without obviously becoming overbearing at any time. As a result, the sound signature feels so much more balanced on the S20 compared to the all mids and highs all of the time style sound of the Tevis. I would even go as far to say that the S20 actually offers superior clarity on mids and highs with extended detail and far less distortion at louder volumes. However, the nail in the coffin for the Tevis in this comparison is that there's far less audio hiss on the S20, something which was really disappointing for me when I reviewed the Tevis. Now, the S20 aren't completely silent in that respect, but the actual level of audio hiss on the S20 is next to none by comparison. This might seem very unlike me here, so make sure you're sitting down, because I have no choice other than to drop a full 10 out of 10 for sound quality. Of course, with the price of these being factored into that score. These are the best sounding budget buds I've heard so far, easily beating all the competition around this price, not by a huge margin, but by a noticeable margin, whilst also besting or at least equaling a lot of options, even up to $150. So now you know my take on sound quality. What's my final score? Overall, the Lypertek Soundfree S20 scored a 44 out of a possible 60, which is a solid 7.3 out of 10 overall. A score which was sadly brought down in areas where they could have easily won a lot more points from me. The pros are exceptional sound quality for the price and a great battery life from a compact case. The cons are slightly longer list here. Terrible mic quality, limited functionality, no ANC, which you can definitely get at this price no problem, no aptX, and reasonably poor future-proofing. Of course, not all of those will be deal breakers for everyone, so you really need to weigh up how much you really care about sacrificing all those cons in the name of getting that clearly very good sound quality, because that is the trade-off you're making by opting for the S20 over something like the Earbuds Pro. Unfortunately, that rather long list of cons mean I just can't call these the best all-round, best true wireless earbuds around the $50 price point, with that title, for me at least, still belonging to the Earbuds Pro for the foreseeable future. However, what I can award the S20 is the title of the best sounding budget buds at this price point, and even considering what they lack, that's definitely not something to sneer at. If sound quality is all that matters to you, then just get these, because trust me, you will not be disappointed and you won't find better elsewhere. But here's the final question: are they worth the upgrade over the Tevis if you already own the Tevis already? Well, considering you've already spent the money on the Tevis and you're actually then losing a lot of features which you already have, this is certainly not a shut up and take my money purchase decision. So no, I can't really recommend the S20s as an upgrade to the Tevis, as I'm not really convinced that's what they were made to be. Now, if you don't own the Tevis already, the S20 are definitely worth considering if, again, sound quality is your #1 priority above all else. You're not going to use ANC, you don't care there's no aptX, you are never going to make a phone call, you're going to be pretty happy. Now that you've watched this video, you definitely need to check out my full review of the Lypertek Tevi by clicking here. Pretty sure I've said that name about 100 times in this video, so probably best to go and check them out if you don't know about them already. Or you can check out my king of the $50 price point, which still holds that title, the Earbuds Pro. Check out my full review here. So click one of those and I will see you in the next video.